everything that happens in the world occurs according to a rational order of the whole. Epictetus. A gentle breeze brushes across the lake of the mind, causing the ripples of confusion to gradually subside. When we view life with hasty eyes, every event seems disjointed, like shards of glass, sharp and chaotic. But if we step back, take a deep breath, and observe with a calm heart, we will realize they are silently arranging into a grand picture where each stroke has its own place, just like the night sky with millions of stars seemingly scattered randomly, but actually operating on precise orbits, the life of. Each person also flows in an invisible yet orderly rhythm. Unexpected joys or unforeseen pains are not random punishments or favors from fate, but are essential notes to make the symphony of life complete. Sometimes we stumble like a leaf falling from a branch, in a strong wind, seeming like an end, but that very moment of touching the ground opens the opportunity for the leaf to merge into Mother Earth, nurturing a new sprout. Understanding this overall order, people complain less, become less impatient, and learn to trust in their own journey. Each challenge becomes a lesson, each delay becomes preparation, each loss becomes a space for something better to enter. When the mind is serene before the flow of life, we no longer feel lost amidst chaos, but like a small planet, orbiting correctly in the vast universe, contributing to the harmonious beauty of the whole. And in that very understanding, people find peace, hope, and continue to walk steadier and lighter on the road ahead. If you feel suffering because of anything external, remember that the pain is not caused by it itself, but by the way you evaluate it, and you have the ability to change this at any time. Marcus Aurelius. If we consider life like a long river that never stops flowing, then the things that happen to us are just stones, bends, or sudden waves on the water's surface. Pain does not come from the event itself, but from the way we evaluate it, like granting humans the oar of perception, something that can navigate the olding boat of the soul amidst the chaotic flow. When a careless word hurts us, or a failure weighs heavy on the heart, we often think the circumstance itself is the cause of suffering. But in reality, our thoughts have draped it in the cloak of tragedy. Just like rain, to the farmer, it's a blessing. To the traveler without a coat, it's a nuisance. The nature of rain remains the same, only the perspective changes. When we learn to change our evaluation, pain loses its weight like clouds gradually dissipating in the morning sun. The wonder lies in the fact that we are not imprisoned. In our emotions, we have the right to choose how to react, the right to transform sadness into lessons, disappointment into motivation, and hurt into growth. Recognizing that inner strength, people become lighter, no longer prisoners of circumstances, but masters of their inner world. Each event now is no longer a knife, cutting into the soul, but a small chisel, carving a stronger and deeper form of ourselves. And in that journey, we find peace not because life stops its storms, but because we have learned how to stand firm amidst wind and rain with the feet of perception and the heart of understanding. It is the rugged path that leads to the peak of greatness. Seneca. A torch is lit amidst the long night of trials, illuminating the silent meaning of hardships that people often want to avoid. If the mountain peak symbolizes brilliant achievement and a broad view, then the path leading there cannot be flat, like a silk carpet, but always full of sharp rocks, fog, and curves that make the legs tremble. Each slip and fall is a time the body aches, but also when the will is tempered, like steel that must pass through red fire to become tough and shining. Life is the same. Failures, losses, and doubts are not walls blocking the way, but invisible steps. lifting people higher than their yesterday's self. There are times we are so exhausted we want to turn back, but that very moment is the boundary between ordinary giving up and extraordinary perseverance. Like a seed that must break its hard shell in the dark earth to reach up and greet the sunlight, people only truly mature when daring to pass through the painful region of challenges. And when finally standing on the peak, breathing deeply the fresh air, looking down at the winding path traversed, we then understand that each scratch, each drop of sweat is fate's signature, engraved on that great journey. It is the ruggedness that creates depth for victory, making success not only brilliant, but also soulful, valuable, and inspiring for the footsteps continuing to climb. Behind, seek joy and simplicity, self-respect, and indifference to what lies between virtue and vice. Respect heaven and earth, love humanity. Marcus Aurelius. Joy does not necessarily have to be brilliant like fireworks, but sometimes just a warm cup of tea in a quiet morning, the wind rustling the bamboo grove before the gate, or a serene smile when the heart no longer competes. Simplicity is like a small garden tended regularly, where ordinary flowers bloom with a more enduring fragrance than any rare species. Self-respect is the invisible fence, protecting that garden, helping us not bow before fleeting benefits, not sell character cheaply to exchange for quickly fading glory. And indifference to the blurred boundary between good and bad is sober wisdom, knowing to let go of desires that easily pull people down the slope while thinking it's happiness. When respecting heaven and earth, we learn humility before the vast universe, understanding that we are just a small grain of sand in the grand cycle of creation. When loving humanity, our heart opens, like a door welcoming sunlight, warming both ourselves and the souls around us. From there, life becomes lighter, no longer stretched tight by ambition or tormented by comparisons. We walk slowly but steadily, carrying serenity like a clear stream, flowing through the mountain forest, quietly, nurturing life. And in that rustic beauty, people find lasting joy, noble dignity, along with a vast love, enough to turn each ordinary day into a cherished gift of life. To succeed in business, to reach the pinnacle, an individual must know all that can be known about that field. Yea, Paul Getty, people cannot walk by luck, but must carry the baggage of deep knowledge and thorough understanding of the path they choose. The business world is not a wild field for the ignorant to sow seeds, but a large garden demanding the owner understand every fiber of soil, every rainy season and sunshine, and every type of seed, knowing. All that can be known is not just memorizing numbers or strategies, but also understanding customer psychology, like understanding the beat of one's own heart, grasping market trends like a fisherman reading the color change of the sea before a storm. Knowledge becomes the compass in the ocean of fierce competition, helping entrepreneurs not lose direction before the temptation of short-term profit or the fear of failure. Each book, each experience, each mistake is a brick building a solid foundation for the tower of success. When understanding deeply, people make decisions more calmly, more wisely, and dare to take bold but calculated steps, like a mountain climber only daring to cling to rocks that have been checked securely. And that comprehensive understanding creates a sustainable advantage not easily shaken before changes, not easily overtaken by temporary rivals. In the end, success is no longer a fleeting flash then extinguished, but becomes a stable flame, nurtured by knowledge, discipline, and broad vision, leading people step by step to the pinnacle steadily and deservedly.